Welcome to the Pandemonium Witches podcast, where the ADHD has just a touch of autism, where the true crime is as scary as the hauntings and unsolved cases. But the hosts never stay on topic for long. I'm Kat.
I'm Rachel.
I'm Em.
And I'm Meg.
Keep your arms, legs, and other extremities in the vehicle at all times, and enjoy the show. Oh, good morning.
Good mornings.
Moana.
Did you just say Moana?
Kind of sounded like it.
Yeah. What?
So a friend of mine posted, while shopping for a funeral dress today, I discovered I fit an XL because she's been losing weight.
Right.
All I kept thinking is, what a horrible way to learn you went down a couple of dress sizes.
Oh.
Like, congrats on losing the weight to, being able to fit, into an XL, but also that is a horrible way to find out.
Right.
That you've dropped a couple of dress sizes when you're shopping for a funeral dress.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's some shit.
And another friend was going through their trunk, I guess, of miscellaneous
Random
things.
goodies. Mm-hmm.
You said trunk, not drunk. Trunk, not drunk.
T, not D. And so, just kind of purging, and came upon a bunch of tees, like t-shirts. I never once thought I'd fit back into something from senior year of high school, but I'm so glad it's my German club tee. I'm dying of shock.
I saw that. She looks so good.
Right.
Okay, I do have to give her a shout out because I know she listens. Congratulations, Carly.
Yay! It's like, yes.
I know.
Like that was right under the funeral dress one, and I was like,
oh,
okay, well, this is a little bit better.
Right. Like, it's sex for the funeral, but I mean, like, it's great that you lost weight, but
horrible way of finding out.
Horrible way of finding out.
Okay, so I have 3 topics.
You have 3 topics.
So I'm
You got a lot of shit banged out, man.
Pick a number, 1, 2, or 3.
Ooh. Oh wait! I got this. I got this.
Oh God.
Got this. The D4 spoketh. The D4 said 1.
Okay.
Did you legitimately roll a D4?
I did.
So shadow people then.
Oh man, come the fuck on!
I'm gonna use this here fish tank to capture me the shadow man and bring him home.
I've decided what I want my next tattoo to be, by the way. I want it to be Raymond, the little firefly from The Princess and the Frog. And I want it to have the little trail dust, but I want him on my Harry Potter thigh.
Oh, that's adorable though.
I know. Raymond, the Cajun little firefly. Okay, so
hold on.
D4.
I gotta close my my game app, so I don't get distracted.
Wait, hold on. You have to close your gay map.
Gaming.
Your gay map?
I was gonna say,
Gaming.
yes, queen. Let's discover the Great Southwest.
Let me go
Get
yell
it,
at your boyfriend real
girl.
quick. He's still sending reels.
Dakota, go to bed. Jesus
You gotta kill your
Christ.
boyfriend.
We can't kill Dakota.
No, I like this one.
What
He's
if I
actually a
maim
good
him?
people.
Dakota is very
Wanna
good
maim
people.
your boyfriend?
No, he's
No.
good people. We like him. We
What
want
are
him
you
to
gonna
stick
do?
around.
Arrest me?
No.
This time last year, my husband told me, and I quote, You're going to be my wife. I'm marrying all of your personalities, and I can handle them. She's sending Dakota a video.
I did. I told him, baby, go to sleep. Stop sending me reels. Go to sleep. Because he keeps popping up on my phone. Dakota sent this. Dakota sent this. And I'm like, stop. Go to sleep.
This time
Thankfully, he
last
doesn't
year,
have to work tonight.
I also sent him 24 roses, for his birthday.
Sorry, country song popped in my head.
You're fine. It's fine. So, shadow people. Let's...
Yes.
Oh.
We're briefly going to touch on the Hat Man as well, because that's in it.
Let's not talk about him. I owe that man money. That's why I stopped taking Benadryl.
I want to know the backstory on that.
Right! What? Was there a handshake involved or a sneeze?
A nod at the head or something? What did you do to owe him money? But also Benadryl, really?
That old school Benadryl, man. You open the bottle and just...
But I am curious, how do you owe him money?
Right.
Because I have questions. How is that a thing? Explain yourself, woman.
Oh, no.
Put in some elevator music right here while we're waiting for her to collect
I
herself.
sent it.
Waiting?
She's having a moment.
I see this.
Mm-hmm.
I sent it in the chat.
I can't take Benadryl
Okay.
because I know that.
One group.
Listen.
I mean, fair.
Is a meme, and you guys fell for it.
Well,
Can I?
I wasn't aware it was a meme, so
Can
I
I
thought
just-
you were legit owing him money, and I'm like, how the fuck is that possible?
I mean, I do owe him like something, but like I'm not gonna get into the specifics
No.
of that right now. I don't have a bra on, so I'm not fully awake.
Having a bra on is how you know you're fully awake. Like, I
Yeah.
wander around with that bra all the time, and fuck that shit.
That's like people who wear glasses. If their glasses aren't on, they're not awake.
Correct.
Fair. But only if they're also not wearing contacts. Also, I'm loving all the baby animals that are being born, that are being introduced to the public right now for like the conservatories and like the zoos.
Yeah.
I'm in love with them. Especially Pesto, who eats twice as much as the adult penguins. Shit, so
Well, now I'm
It should
unpausing
stick.
it, so we can't talk about it anymore. So it's done. It's done. All right.
All right, are we ready
So-
for the shadow people?
No, but you're
the
gonna do it
Hat Man.
anyways.
Of course. My mom also sees the Hat Man occasionally. Usually when, I want to say when something traumatic is about to happen. Usually when like a family member is in a life or death situation.
Right.
Like, my grandfather had cardiac arrest. So she saw him like the night before.
Right.
When I almost died in Hurricane Michael, she saw him.
Mm-hmm.
When my sister had her stroke, when Doctor's sister had her stroke, she saw him. The only time she hasn't seen him was when Mimi passed.
Because it was probably a natural
She
passing.
just probably, but mom did see him when Granddad passed. She saw him for the cardiac arrest, and then when he did end up passing 4 years later. Which, guys, get CPR certified.
Yeah.
And make sure you stay
Up to
up
date.
to date with the certifications, because
Good for every 2 years.
it gave my family 4 more years with my grandfather.
And I do have to let you
that
know that did you
We
know
wouldn't
that
have had.
did you know that Hot to Go is the same tempo?
Yes, I love it.
Oh, so is Chick Chick Boom by Stray Kids, if you
Mhm.
guys are into K-pop.
I love Stray Kids.
Fun fact.
The band.
it's-
I don't actually like Stray Children. That's just weird.
Whoop whoop.
I mean, you collect stray children.
I
so-
collect feral children. Let's be fair. I love my little feral kids.
So yeah, so because my dad was CPR certified, he wasn't supposed to be at work that night because he worked part-time at a bowling alley.
Mm-hmm.
And it
Holla
ended up
back, girl.
giving... That's awesome. He saw my grandfather go down with the cardiac arrest, and he was able to be there because my grandfather and my grandmother were bowling league.
Mm-hmm.
And so because Dad was there, he started doing compressions and ended up basically giving us 4 more years with my grandfather, which he was in and out of the hospital a lot, but it was still 4 more years that we wouldn't have gotten if he hadn't have been there.
Right. I mean, I'm really grateful that I got CPR certified because it's, I was waiting for a bus one day and this guy just went down and he was having a heart attack and I was literally walking to work and I was like, oh my God.
Right.
But
even if you just know how to do the chest compressions correctly,
right.
that saves so much because you're pumping the blood.
Right. And I didn't even know who the guy was, but his family ended up thanking me later.
Right.
Because I had to give them my information.
So important.
Right. Because whenever you do that in emergent situations, you have to give them your name and your information.
Yeah. All right. You get him? Okay. Anyways.
Yes. Shadow
Let's
people.
Get back on topic here.
Yes. Sorry.
So they're also known as shadow figure or black mass because sometimes they don't have a distinct shape. Sometimes it's just a mass.
Is this another recraft of the Dark Watchers that we covered on that last episode?
Kind of.
Okay. All right.
Perception of the shadow as a living species humanoid figure, sometimes interpreted as the presence of a spirit or other entity by believers in the paranormal or supernatural.
No thanks.
Apparently, they are a worldwide phenomenon. So many people have seen them. There's an official website that archives encounters.
What?
Yeah, it is called. Let me see.
And we're not talking about like the Shadow Man.
Shadowpeople.org.
We're not talking about like
all one word.
The Shadow Man from like Princess and the Frog. That's completely different.
No.
That's called hoodoo or voodoo. We don't fuck with that.
Right. Yeah, so there's an official website. And there is a belief that shadow people are a guardian angel type thing, but most retellings say they're extremely malevolent.
Oh.
Bless you. What does malevolent mean again?
Hello. It means that she's the witch of the forest with really pretty wings.
No, that's Maleficent, sweetie pea.
No, I think you're thinking of magenta.
Oh no. Oh no.
It means, so it's a noun that means the state of feeling or quality of having ill will, hatred, or malice. It is also implies a deliberate desire for evil.
So, my mother-in-law.
It comes from the Latin word malevolenti and the French word malevolence. The earliest known use of the word was in Middle English around 1454 in the writing of Reginald Peacock.
Peacock?
So, yeah.
Okay, that's all right, cool.
So there are numerous religions, legends, and belief systems that describe supernatural entities like shades of the underworld and various shadowy creatures that have always been a staple in folklore and ghost stories, i.e. the Islamic jinn and the Choctaw Nalusa Chito. I'm quite sure I did not pronounce that right. I'm sorry, guys. Shadow people are often compared to Raven Mocker in Cherokee mythology and Jinn from pre-Islamic mythology. The Raven Mocker is a bit more. It is part of Cherokee mythology. It is a witch that takes the form of a bird and then shifts into a shadow-like human phantom. It is said it steals the souls of the ill or dying.
Oh.
Shadow people, exist in every lore or culture, so across the world.
Mm-hmm.
In Egypt, depictions of and stories of shadow people are seen. They call them kabut. I'm quite sure I did not say that right. And it is believed that it was one of the 7 souls each person had. In Greek mythology, the shade of a person went to a place called the Land of the Shades, which was part of the underworld.
Right. The shade was
also-
their soul.
Yeah. There are also stories of people dictating or dedicating, 2 different words, dedicating or giving their shadows to Zeus. And while this was a huge sacrifice, over time it became something to fear. It is
Right.
believed that if someone visited the temple of Zeus, like Chaos, they would lose their soul, as he is believed to be the original werewolf, and werewolves lack shadows.
Chaos. Is it Kios? Or Kaos?
No, I think it's Lycus. Temple of Zeus Lycus, Lycaeus.
Lycus. Yeah.
Yeah. It's the A and the E next to the U that throws me off. too many vowels right next to each other. So Heidi Hollis published her first book on the topic of shadow people in October of 2001.
Oh.
She described them as dark silhouettes with human shapes and profiles that flicker in and out of peripheral vision. She also claims that people have reported the figures attempting to jump on their chests and choke them.
Huh?
She also believes that the figures to be negative aliens that can be repelled by various means, including invoking the name of Jesus.
Listen, we need to leave my cousin out of shit like this. He doesn't want to be involved.
Right? I
We
know some
talked about
wonderful
this.
Jesuses, and they no, leave them alone. They have other things to do. And so in my notes, I just kind of laughed next to it. Because I figured you were going to bring up your cousin.
Listen.
So I was prepping for it.
I had, what was it? My mom the other day, she was like, you don't have a cousin named Jesus. I did 23andMe. I did Ancestry.
Yeah.
I found my cousin. This was many years ago when Ancestry first came out. I found my cousin. He is a 4th cousin, twice removed. His name is Jesus. Right. His mom had a great sense of humor. His name is Jesus Cristo. He is gay. He builds houses for Habitat for Humanity. We love that for him.
So exactly like how Christian Jesus would be.
Yes.
If he was here.
Yes, except he does hang out with prostitutes and stuff like that, but that's mainly because of where he lives. But I mean,
right.
He's a good guy, he's a good egg, but
right.
I think it's funny because he's a carpenter. And his name is
hilarious.
Jesus.
We love it.
Oh man. Anyways,
not
continue.
just Jesus, but Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christ, yeah, his name is literally Jesus Christ. His mom has a wicked sense of humor. Love that about her.
Right. Anyways, so there are online discussion forums that are devoted to paranormal and supernatural topics that describe them as menacing.
The shadow people? Yeah.
While other believers and paranormal authors don't agree if the shadows are evil, helpful, or neutral, and some even discuss that they may be the extra-dimensional inhabitants of another universe.
What, like aliens?
Basically. Some paranormal investigators and authors claim to have recorded images of shadow people on video.
And
which, I mean, is a thing. Sometimes, you do catch it.
You do. I mean, you've seen it in a couple of the snaps that I've sent you. You've seen like figures in the background, and I'm
like, ma'am, there's something there, and then I save it and I send it back to you with it circled.
Yeah.
Like, excuse you.
Oh, sorry.
And you're like, oh, yeah, no, I know.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, as long as you're aware.
Yeah. No, that's the price to pay for being a haunted house.
This is true.
Yeah.
They were featured in 2 episodes of ITV paranormal documentary series Extreme Ghost Stories, where they are described as a black mass.
Yeah.
Take your ass to bed.
Is he still sending you videos?
Yes!
What the Dakota? Like, he can hear this right now. Dakota,
know,
go
right?
to bed.
Right, like, thankfully he doesn't have to work tonight, so that's a plus.
Thank goodness for that.
I know. So one of these shadow people is called the Hat Man. One example of him is that he shares characteristics of general shadow people and wears a fedora or other brimmed hat on his head.
I'm sorry, I muted
Descriptions
myself.
of him date back to as early as the late 2000s, but that's just people actually talking about it. He was seen long before this.
Right.
So he's commonly associated with sleep paralysis and the abuse of Benadryl.
What?
Yeah.
What, like, you use... Sorry, I'm still looking for the stupid fucking...
I guess, like, some people become addicted to using Benadryl, I guess, as a sleep aid, and it ends up flipping their brain. Typically described as having very little or no discernible features, although some people have claimed to feel him staring at them. Well, no shit.
No shit, Sherlock. Jesus Christ.
People who have seen him claim that they see him hovering on top of them, which makes scientists further their sleep paralysis explanations.
What?
And others claim to have seen him while wide awake and also claim to see him either before or after a major traumatic event, like my mother.
Okay.
Some people say they have only seen him once, and others say he's haunted them for years. Mom has seen him throughout her whole life.
I have seen something similar to him, but not him. It's like a little girl. Yeah. Just regular braids, kind of looking like Alexandra, and
but not her.
But not her, because Alexandra will be right by me. But I mean, she has like eyeballs and everything. She looks like a real human person. But it's, I don't know, there's something eerie about her. But every time somebody's died, it's...
So, for like almost a year leading up to Mimi passing, she would see a little girl. This was after she gave Subby and I the cats. That we call, the guardians. So after, we took them out of, well, because they stood by the front door. So they were the guardians, because there was 2 big ones and 2 that were slightly smaller, and they're teakwood. And then they have always been at the house. So Mimi gave them to Subby and I. And so we each took one big, one small. And after that, Mimi started seeing a little girl. And specifically around dinner time is when she would mention her, because Mimi would try to entice her to come over and share the food that was on Mimi's plate. She wouldn't eat all of her food because she wanted to give it to the little girl. And so she would saw her for like weeks at a time, for like over several months. And it really freaked me out. And then I was like, okay, maybe it's, something from her past. Right. That, her brain's just remembering, because she did have, at that point, rather advanced dementia. Yeah. And so it, kind of made sense. She would also say, she would occasionally see, a man and so like, I just kind of like the way my brain was trying to explain it to myself was it's the dementia. It's people from her past coming to visit her. Right. And that, it made sense to me. I was like, I would try to get her to explain it, and she just didn't really. She just, would say, oh, it's the little girl. And so I was just like, okay, maybe it's just, a friend of hers that she had from childhood and coming to visit. But maybe it wasn't. And so then, like, towards the end, she was much further along, and we finally, Subby and I kind of made the running joke that because at this point, she was refusing to eat and was barely taking in any liquids. And so we're like, okay, death has come calling multiple times now, and
Right.
she's refusing to go. And so finally, Sevy and I kind of, put it out to, the universe that maybe Granddad needed to come collect her.
Yeah.
And not long after that, she passed. She passed the day before their wedding anniversary.
Oh, that's sweet.
And so to comfort ourselves, we said Granddad came and got her so that way they could spend the whole day of their wedding anniversary together.
Which honestly was probably more than likely.
Oh, yes. And so it gave all of us some comfort that Granddad came and got her. And Sevy and I, we're like, oh, Granddad had to come get her because she refused to go with Death.
I mean, death comes in many forms. It's not just...
Oh, yes.
And
so, we kind of joked that, Death had tried to get her to come with him several times, but she refused because she was stubborn.
Listen.
And so Granddad finally had to come get her and be like, listen, I've waited long enough. Let's go.
Right. We talked about her the other day. I'm in the middle of sewing my project.
Yeah.
And I'm like, stop telling me what to do. I miscut 2 squares because of this woman. And I'm just sitting there going, I have to measure 4 times and cut once. I am very meticulous about this.
It's always 4 times.
It's always 4 times because I measure once, and then I have a thing about 3, and then I measure another 3 times, and then I cut.
Yeah.
Well, she's like, why are you measuring so much? You don't need to measure so much. Ma'am, shut the fuck up. I mean this nicely, but shut the fuck up.
Right. Okay. Anyways, back to the shadow people.
Yes. Shadow people. Sorry. You guys didn't come for the spooky, or you came for the autism. Let's just be fair.
Especially today. So several psychological and physiological conditions can account for reported experiences of shadowy shapes seeming alive. Sleep paralysis sufferer can perceive a shadowy or indistinct shape approaching them when they lie awake paralyzed and become increasingly alarmed. And especially if insomnia people have I feel like it opens up their third eye almost because the lack of sleep.
Yeah.
A person experiencing heightened emotion, such as while walking alone on a dark night, may incorrectly perceive a patch of shadows as an attacker because heightened sense. Many methamphetamine addicts report the appearance of shadow people after prolonged periods of sleep deprivation. Also, same with insomnia. You can't sleep, your brain starts picking out different shapes in the dark.
Right.
Psychiatrist Jack Potts suggested that methamphetamine usage adds a conspiratorial component to the sleep deprivation hallucinations. One interviewed subject said that you don't see shadow dogs or shadow birds or shadow cars. You see shadow people standing in doorways, walking behind you, coming at you on the sidewalk. These hallucinations have been directly compared to the paranormal entities described in folklore. Shadow people are commonly reported by people under the influence of the derelict subjects such as datura, diphenhydramine, and benzodiazepine. I know for a fact I did not pronounce any of those words.
It's okay. You know what? You tried your best, and that's all that matters. I'm not going to correct you.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Basically, one of them, I know the middle one is chemical compound for Benadryl. I know that one. Just can't say it. Finally, visual hallucinations, such as those caused by schizophrenia and bipolar disorder, may appear to be shadowy figures at the edge of the peripheral visions. Jason Offutt, Offutt, the author of Darkness Walks, The Shadow People Among Us, which is a very interesting name.
No thanks. I'm good.
Jason commented, many shadow people encounters do seem to mirror ghost encounters, and are the most common type of shadow person encounters. A blacker than night human-shaped shadow that people see walking through their bedroom, hallway, living room, etc. These shadow people are mostly benign, usually not taking notice of those who observe them.
Right.
There are descriptions of shadowy human-like figures in folklore dating back to ancient times, like in the Quran. It mentions pitch black sapient beings that aren't entirely spiritual or physical, and people in ancient Europe believed that shadow beings desired blood and without it couldn't be reborn, which is terrifying.
They were also known as, I think, jinns.
Yes.
Like the shadow people were jinns. My next door neighbor
Yes.
used to put mirrors above my doorway. I would always hang out with her for Rosh Hashanah and a few other Jewish holidays, but she would say they were called jinns, and that the mirrors made sure that I stayed safe.
Yeah, because they would get trapped in the mirrors.
Yes. That is why my mirrors are covered for most of Halloween for
right?
Spiritual
Or
purposes.
they have been sigiled so that way they are locked.
Yeah, my bathroom mirror is sigiled because I can't. It is far too big, so I can't do it myself.
Right.
Anyways, I'm getting off topic.
Speaking of which, I need to sigil the mirrors here.
Ah, okay.
Haven't gotten around to it yet.
I will make you a sigil after we're done.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
So shadow people are reported to be conscious, intelligent, and interdimensional beings that can shapeshift into various forms and figuration. They can move back and forth between dimensions, and most descriptions state they have glowing red eyes. No, thank you.
No, thank you. Thank you, but no, thank you.
Right. All right. So to finish up, in popular culture, where they're mentioned, The Nightmare is a 2015 documentary that discusses the causes of sleep paralysis as seen through extensive interviews with participants, and the experiences are reenacted by professional actors because, of course.
Of course they are. Yeah.
It proposes that such cultural phenomenon as alien abduction, the near-death experience, and shadow people can, in many cases, be attributed to sleep paralysis. The real-life horror film debuted at the Sundance Film Festival on January 26th and premiered in theaters on June 5th, 2015, I'm assuming. Maybe it might have been 2016 because it was done in 2015.
Okay.
Shadow people described as shadow men feature prominently in the 2007 novel John Dies at the End. These names of books, guys.
And it's also a movie. John Dies at the End is a movie.
Okay. When they kill a person, that person is retroactively erased from existence and history is rewritten as though they were never born. Interesting.
Okay.
The 2013 horror film Shadow People depicts a fictional sleep study conducted during the 1970s in which patients reported seeing shadowy intruders before dying in their sleep.
Ma'am!
The film follows a radio host and CDC investigator who researched the story, and the story is claimed to be based on true events. Like, no thanks.
Thanks, I hate it. No, thank you.
In 2012 episode of A&E's intervention series, the subject Skylar is plagued by shadow people, sometimes called phase people, and sprays a mist to unveil them in the refractions. He also builds weapons to fight them and alleges that they are using stolen technology to telepathically hold on. My page skipped down for me. To telepathically communicate with certain individuals.
No.
In the online game Deep Sleep and its sequels, because of course there's more than one, shadow people have existed since the dawn of the human race and lurk in lucid dreams. Players who realize that they are asleep can be paralyzed and possessed, and the character's dream self will be turned into a shadow person. I don't like it.
I'm going to be turned into a problem, not a shadow person. I will be
Right.
the whole fucking problem. Because no.
Exactly. So, in an episode of the 1985 Twilight Zone series, which is fantastic, it's titled The Shadow Man, because of course it is, dealt with a teenage boy who had a shadow person living under his bed. No thanks. Like, no, don't live under my bed. Go somewhere else. Live in the closet for all I care. Not under the bed.
Listen, he's probably of the gay, like we are, and probably doesn't want to stay in the closet. He probably wants to stay under the bed so his hair can stay manageable and beautiful.
But still, why the bed?
Because it's big under there? It's like the TARDIS.
But sometimes closets are like that.
That's true. We did talk about the Mystery House, the last one, where he entered a
Right.
closet and there's 30 extra rooms. You know, the TARDIS.
Right, exactly. So this episode portrayed the Shadow Man as fitting the Hat Man appearance, commonly ascribed to shadow people, and added to the mythology that shadow people can kill humans, but will not harm those under whose beds they live. The 1998 video game LSD Dream Emulator, a humanoid figure commonly known as the Gray Man, may appear in some dreams who, if touched, undoes all dream progress and erases saved flashback data.
No.
The figure, in both appearance and roles in dreams, is similar to that of the Hat Man phenomenon. But yeah, that's what I got for shadow people / the Hat Man. Like,
No.
I didn't even include like the accounts of people on the shadowpeople.org website from people's experiences, because we'd be here all day.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
you guys at your own discretion can go to
Look
the
at it.
website and look at it.
and if you
I
listen
am
to this,
not.
if you listen to this episode and you yourself have had an experience with the shadow people and you want to leave a
Let
comment,
us know.
let us know. We'll read it on air. As far as pending comments, we have none.
Rude.
I
Guys,
know.
please comment.
It's
Put some
okay.
in comments.
It's okay. The last comment we got was Mike, which we love. We love that. We have 74 followers. Our audience. Oh, we have more.
We have more people.
So we now have Italy, Costa Rica, and Algeria.
Woo!
Woo! Let's just give it up for that. So we are all over the place now. That is amazing. But primarily it's the United States, Romania, the UK, and Canada. Those are our big. So we maybe have like one person there, you know?
Okay.
I've had, being a death witch, being a bruja, and being a medium and experiencing what I have experienced, I have met death twice.
Right.
Right before I had my back surgery, I met them. They were dressed as this lady that I had met once at the library. I never saw her again after that, but I used to go to the library every Sunday. My mom would drop me off after church, or I think it was Saturday, but she would drop me off after we would go to church, and I would spend all day there. That was her day off. She would drop me off, and she was so nice. Her name was Phyllis. She wore this. She dressed vintage, and that's.
Love that.
I loved it. You know, A-line skirts and, you know, proper shoes, and
It got you inspired to dressing that way.
Well, that and the fact that I gained weight and I could only fit in certain clothes. So, you know.
True.
I was a fat kid. But I remember one day I'm sitting at the bus stop and I'm on my way to college classes. And no, this was after the surgery. This is right before I had my run-in with my ex-boyfriend. And you guys, I'm under the belief if my kids, the ones that I've adopted, if they need to come home from an abusive relationship, come home.
Right.
I'd rather you come
We
home
would rather you come home than be dead.
from a failed marriage than come home in a casket. I've buried far too many of
Yes.
my kids. This is a PSA. If you're in one of those relationships, leave. But I was in a violent relationship, and I'm sitting at the bus stop, and I have a pretty nasty shiner on my face, and it took up a good portion. She goes, that looks like
bruising travels.
right. She goes, that looks like it hurt, and I was like, I mean, I'm clumsy, and she goes, I used to tell my husband that I was clumsy, and I kind of looked at her, and she goes, he wouldn't realize what he was doing, and I was like, okay, and I kind of looked down, and she goes, you should not get on this next bus, and she got up, and I go, what? She goes, wait 30 minutes, walk that way, and get on that bus, and I went, okay. So, of course, if the universe says something,
You listen.
you listen. This was in 2004, 2005.
Mm-hmm.
There was an article written about it. It was not on the news, but you and I both know this was... Anyways, that's how news was back then. If it didn't kill someone, it wasn't worth discussing. There was a homeless man who went onto the bus and held a woman by knife point. The bus that stopped was the same bus that the homeless man got on. I had passed him on my way from that bus stop to the one over by the grocery store. So I went from the one by the hospital to the one 2 blocks down at the grocery store.
Mm-hmm.
And I just got on that one, which went straight to the house instead of going to college. And I was like, I missed my classes for the day. Next day in the newspaper, I read about this homeless guy and I was like, I was supposed to get on at that bus stop.
She saved your life.
Yeah, he probably could have killed me. So a little while later, I'm getting goosebumps thinking about it. A little while later, my friend was involved in a car accident. Rest her soul. I love her dearly. I was in the passenger seat. I will never recover from this, which is why when I'm ever on long road trips with Josh, I will not look at him for long periods of time. I will look down. I will look everywhere else, but I won't look at him. And he's not offended by this at all. You saw that.
Yeah.
She was. And I was not okay riding as a passenger in a car for a long time after that.
No, completely understandable.
Right.
Like there's so much trauma.
Right. Before that accident, I moved home to take care of my dad. Before that accident, I was in my bedroom and I had gone outside or something and I saw the same old lady,
Mm-hmm.
Phyllis. And I looked up and she just went, stay home. And then I blinked and I kind of looked back up and she was gone. And I was like, okay, that's weird. Had a dream that night.
Gonna listen.
Right. I'm still going to listen. Had a dream that night about my friend getting hit by a car. The very next day, I'm like, we need to stay home. We're not going out. We need to stay home. I know my parents aren't here, but we need to stay home. We need to stay home. And I was very active about it. She's like, I'm going out. I don't give a shit. And her parents knew that I tried to get her to stay home. But
she got into a car accident.
Right. So I see death as different people. It's not, sometimes it's a little girl, sometimes it's Phyllis, sometimes it's
whatever shape or form they need to take at that point.
That you feel comfortable with. So
yes.
When my grandmother died, I'd asked her later on, obviously after she'd already passed on, I asked her what death looked like to her. I did not know until after this interaction that I had another uncle. My mother had a little brother who died about a year after he was born. I did not know about this.
Yeah, and because that generation, they don't talk about that.
Mm-hmm.
Miscarriages, like children that die in infancy, they don't discuss it.
So, of course, this was maybe a month or two after she had passed. So we're going through all of her belongings, and I stop. And I go, Mom, did you have a brother? She goes, yeah, I have your Uncle Walt. And I said, no, did you have another brother? And they just exchanged glances. And I was like, what did I touch
What are you
here?
not telling me?
Like, what did I not know? And so he appeared to her as a little boy. And he was so cute. He was wearing coveralls and cute little, made my heart just kind of melt. But she was just like, that's how I knew it was time to go home. So not my grandfather, not her sister, not his sister, her son.
But a child that she loved.
Yeah.
came and got her.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's the shadow people aren't omens of necessarily bad things. They're just kind of omens.
Yeah.
Pay attention.
Right.
Um,
Oh, yeah. I mean, sometimes they are bad things, but not necessarily always.
No. I mean, sees shadow people, and it's not anything bad. It's more like, pay attention.
Right.
And she asked me to keep the door closed for her because she doesn't want to see anything else, just the shadow people. I'm like, that's not a problem. I'll put some training wheels on you. You guys are good. And so
Training wheels.
she has a house ghost. His name is Frank. His name is not Frank. It's very much not. But that's what she calls him.
It's Frank, but not Frank.
Right. And so she knows he's there because she'll leave books out
Mhm.
for him and turn the pages. But
So that way he can read.
right, she can't see him, but he loves the library. He loves the library upstairs.
Yeah.
And
We love readers.
we love readers. But she told me, she goes, I like seeing them because they give me kind of a, I shouldn't go this way. I shouldn't do that.
Right.
I should pay attention. And
Yeah.
guys,
It's
if
kind of
you
like our family with George.
right, if you see them, you're not going crazy. It's your guardian
They're
angel
just
knocking you over the head with
letting
La
you-
Chanclita going, hey.
because obviously these little cues that I'm giving are not getting your attention. I have to manifest myself
Right.
to get your attention.
I mean, truth be told.
Our George likes peat smoke and tobacco smells and occasionally
Coffee.
whiskey.
And coffee. You left him coffee.
Yeah.
Or was it tea? Was it tea that's
Sylvia left out a cuppa for Mimi.
Ah, okay. That's right. God, your grandmother.
She loves her tea. Hot tea.
I
Hot
would,
tea with just a splash of milk.
look, I did not make, I prepped the hot water kettle, but I left it the other day, and when I did not have it plugged in. I went into the other room to start getting ready for bed, and I normally go out into the kitchen, make sure everything's off. The fucker's on! And I went, Mimi, if you wanted tea, you could have asked. She goes, I know. And I was like,
She was just going to make it for herself.
I know. And I went over to it, and it's unplugged, and I went, can you please turn it off so I can turn it on for you? Sorry. And then, it turns off, and I went, thank you. Plugged it in, turned it on, got her a cup.
Made her a cuppa.
And I did. I made her some sleepy time tea. And, she was like, don't you have anything else? And I was like, look, I got 4 tea blends. The other ones are expensive. This is what you got.
She prefers black tea.
Yeah, no, not the expensive one that I have. The one that I have is
English tea,
from
yeah.
the one that I have is from overseas. From one of my friends got it from India.
Right.
It's-
I'll send you some tea bags.
I have some cheap black tea, which I did not know that my husband purchased because I like chai.
Yeah.
By the way, it's not Rhea. I love you, Rhea.
Chai.
Chai.
Tea.
Tea.
Moon.
Moon. It is the moon of the tea world. It is not called chai
Yes.
tea. It's just called chai.
Chai.
It's just chai.
Because it stands for tea.
Yes. So if you're asking for a chai tea latte, you're asking for a tea latte. It's the moon of the tea world.
Yes. It is delicious though.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, I'll send you some English tea bags so that way she can get a proper cuppa.
She won't leave me alone at that point.
She doesn't leave you alone now. What you mean?
Look, she was gone for 2 months. I was happy. I was great. And then I get up 2:00 in the morning because I hear something
And she's
out
there.
here, and she's here with Abuela.
Hello, I am back.
And I'm like,
She was probably taking care of mom. Making
probably.
sure mom's, because was it around the time mom had her knee surgery?
Yes.
Yeah, so she was keeping an eye on mom, making sure she was following directions
Good.
because it was major surgery. So that, and she probably might have also been popping in on the other kids.
Probably, more than likely.
Keeping an eye on things.
I
Has she been over to the house? They remodeled it.
yeah. Which I think is why she's here and causing such a ruckus. She does not like it.
Yeah, no, they it is 100% different than what it was.
Right.
So,
I mean, I
like, it works for the family, but it's completely different. They turned the front room into a bedroom and brought the wall. They created a third bathroom, and they eliminated the breakfast nook.
no wonder she's pissed off. She loved that little nook.
Uh-huh.
Oh shit.
We love that. The other two bedrooms, or the other bedrooms stayed the same. They remodeled the bathrooms, which I knew was going to happen anyways. But just the whole they did that. They created a fourth bedroom and the bathroom, and then the what we called the walk-through room, which was supposed to be like the formal dining room area, is now their living room, and their dining room is where the living room was with the sliding glass door.
Right.
But yeah, it's completely different. After it was done remodeling, Mom and Sharon went over and saw it and took a couple of pictures. And Mom's just like, it's completely different. Oh my god. Everything is white. So much white.
I mean,
like, the only splashes of color is the accents in the countertops and the furniture.
Of course, the
everything
furniture.
else is
It's millennial white.
White.
It's millennial white.
Which, like, I get because it's cheap. Like,
right.
color paint ends up costing more, but like, even the cabinets are white. They got rid of all of the carpet and like replaced it with I want to say like planking.
Vinyl?
No, hold on, let me go back to the picture. Like, it's interesting to say the least. So it's it looks like wood planking, but
it's vinyl flooring.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people are replacing the flooring.
That's the kitchen.
I know it's hideous. You don't have to reach your finger into my brain to talk to me about that. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that's where the breakfast nook is that they. Yeah. I'm just like, oh my god.
Well, they were probably opening up the floor plan, to allow more in there. Yeah, it is not disgusting. It looks very pretty.
It's just definitely different than what it was for,
right.
Like roughly 70 years, like from the house when the house was built. So it's definitely not her and Granddad's house anymore.
Right.
Outside still looks the same. Inside entirely different.
So, if you guys have any experiences with shadow people or anything like that, write a message. I'm so sorry. We went off topic here, but as always, you came for the vibes.
Right.
I hope you guys have enjoyed Spooktober, but we can't say Spooktober. I hope you guys have enjoyed the spookiness.
The hauntedness.
The hauntedness. Yeah, we can't say spooky. Yeah, I found out what that meant, so we're not using that anymore. Do not use spooky, guys. It's bad.
The hauntedness.
The hauntedness.
The myths. The haunted and the myths.
The scariness that is October. We have how many more episodes? This one is the 23rd, so it's coming out on the 23rd. So we have another one, two.
I still have 2 more topics.
So we have 3 more
at
episodes.
Least 2 more episodes.
Technically. We have 2 more double episodes to do.
Mm-hmm.
And then the last episode is going to be the very special episode, which is going to be all about the history of Halloween. We're supposed to have all 4 of us on that one. So
okay.
hopefully everybody can make it that day.
Yes.
Stay feral.
Bite the hand that feeds you, or just bite the hand in general.
And
terrify the men.
We'll see you guys next time.
Okay, bye.
Okay, goodbye. Next time on the Pandemonium Witches, famously known for its ghosts, for its spookiness.
Mhm.
Women weren't allowed to have bank accounts. We weren't allowed to have credit cards, deeds in our name, anything. But the father-in-law was like, I'm going to teach you how to finance your money. So the gardens were filled with ornamental trees, shrubs, and flowers. It is estimated that had plants from over 110 countries in the Villa Gardens. She did all the drawings and the design and did not have an overall plan. She worked it room by room. Side note, Emily, do you know how she worked room by room? She would have a seance every night before they would start construction on the projects the next day. I didn't put this in the notes because
I just want to say that was extremely creepy.